Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your reading for the week of March 27th. We're just going to jump right in here, Cancer. In your first row here, in your current general energies, you have this card that says, you will find your place in the world even when you don't know how. You also have this growth card. It says, expect good money flow, raise, or a new job offer. Yeah, it seems to me like I think I said in the 2023 readings, the yearly readings, that the year doesn't really start until like the middle of March. And, I feel that, and again, it was like a slow start. So now that we are, officially past the middle of March this week, I feel a lot of you could just be noticing, I wouldn't say like easier progress, but I just think progress in general. It's like things are smoothing out. Things are starting to work in your business, or you're starting to see results, or, whatever the case may be. So, I feel really good about this. Yeah. You have some really good cards here, Cancer. So, and look at this. You have the Ten of Swords to the Chariot, which could be, that could represent like fortune after difficulty, or, something good coming in for you after a difficult period of time. Sorry, I wanted to do this right here. So I kind of feel that. In your first row, you have the Eight of Swords, the King of Wands, and the the Hierophant card. What I would say here is that I know what the issue is here. It's this right here. So for some of you, I feel like you need to like break some rules, bust down some barriers here, because the Eight of Swords is self-imposed restriction. The Hierophant could be because of some beliefs. I always say that the Hierophant really reminds me of the time that we are in, because we have Neptune and Pisces, and Neptune and Pisces is a direct challenge to traditional belief. So it's like there are things that we all believe for whatever reason, right? And maybe we were raised to believe certain things that are kind of rules. It's like they're not really rules, but they're more like, Bruce Lipton, I just mentioned Bruce Lipton too, but he calls it subconscious programming, right? Where when we're born, our parents do things that kind of install these programs into our brains. And it's like we live our lives, even as adults, thinking like, oh, I have to follow this rule. Maybe we don't say that, but it's like we stop ourselves from doing things. There's also a belief in psychology that, whoever our dominant parent was, mother, father, doesn't matter, that we sometimes do things that they did, that we have certain limiting beliefs that they had or whatever, right? And so when we face those things, when we like face the dominant parent in ourselves, then we can overcome those issues and move forward, or break down barriers, or remove money blocks, or whatever the case may be. And Cancer, I really see that for you here. I'm not a psychologist, so, I just play one on TV. But, what I would say here is, go see one if you need to, of course. But I think you're doing some of that deep work. You're kind of looking at some things that have maybe been keeping you stuck. You've been looking at the things that have kept you inside the Hierophant's box right here. And you're kind of like stepping out of this, the box, let's put it that way. And I really feel that will be extremely beneficial for you. There could be some shocks because you do have the Tower here, but again, it's like if you grew up believing the sky was green and the ground was blue, but then you find out it's actually blue and green the other way around, you would be pretty shocked. So, I feel like for some of you, there could be some of those things happening. You have the King of Wands here. If you want love, by the way, I do feel there could be a person coming in. You have the Ace of Cups going this way. It's like there's a person charging into your life. It could be a fire sign. I'm also getting water and air, so, take it how it resonates. Basically, could be anything. But what I would say is I feel like you're attracting someone who's very bold, assertive, confident, hardworking. Could be a Taurus as well. Could also be a Scorpio, more specifically, but take it how it resonates. You have all the fixed signs here: Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo. So could just be a fixed sign that's coming in for you. But, I feel like regardless, it's like someone who's very bold and assertive. I would also make sure that you're embracing this energy. I think everybody on Earth needs to embrace this energy right now, the King of Wands energy, like really being, I look at him as like the true entrepreneur, but it doesn't have to be business. I think the better way to say King of Wands is that, he takes care of things like it's a baby, whatever it is that he's building, his health, his spirituality, his business, whatever he's working on, he like really, really nurtures it into existence and treats it like a baby, the things that he cares about. So I feel if you can do that, you're going to be very successful at this time, Cancer. So that's what I'd be doing there. But let's see what's going on. With the Eight of Swords, you have the Four of Swords. Four of Swords is a card of healing. So I feel like, again, you could be healing some like deep aspects of yourself. And I do feel this is going to lead to abundance. With the King of Wands, you have the Chariot. Definitely some sort of victory. And again, I do feel that there could be a person charging into your life. I mean, in that row, you have the wealthy man card, and take it how it resonates. Whatever gender you're interested in, you could be attracting someone who's like very successful in life, very hardworking, whatever the case may be. I really do feel like this person, I do get the word controlling, but it's not like, it's not like they're controlling. I feel like they just have control over their life. They actually take control. It wouldn't surprise me if like this person doesn't drink or doesn't do things like like numbing behaviors. I feel like they don't have very many vices. That might be something that stands out to you. So that's what's popping into my head, but could be a victory as well. With the Hierophant, you have the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands, of course, is a card of burdens. I do feel like you need to release some burdens at this time. Like you could be carrying some heavy weights from, again, the past. But it's not like the past, as in a past person. I'm talking about like past beliefs that you grew up with or something like that. So I would let those things go. I feel like that will bring blessings into your life. Next, in the area of the unexpected, you have the Sea Glass card. It says your future is being rewritten, metamorphosis. So you are going through a change. The Tower is the card of metamorphosis, and literally, if you look at this card, it looks like a tower. So I feel for a lot of you, you're going through a deep change. And again, people always tell me how horrible the Tower is. I'm like, okay, great. If that's what you want to believe, fine. But that's not really what tarot isn't meant to be, good or bad. It's meant to be loose guidance at best. And what I would say is that a legitimate meaning of the Tower is metamorphosis. So it's like when we think of metamorphosis, a caterpillar has to turn into caterpillar soup before it turns into a butterfly. So, I feel for a lot of you that you've been in caterpillar soup and now it's like you're becoming the butterfly. You have the Ace of Cups, the Nine of Cups, and the Tower. I also feel it could be a surprise if love is coming in for you, or, I kind of feel like it could be a surprise that a person is just interested in you, just in general. Also, again, as always, wouldn't surprise me. I think that for the next 10 years, we're going to see the Tower quite a bit. There's going to be a lot of global Tower moments. It just is what it is. But, the thing is that going this way, you have the Six of Wands, which would be a victory, and the Strength card, which is like personal development. So really putting the Hierophant, Ten of Wands to the Tower, again, it's like I feel really good about this. I feel like the change that you're making is that you're letting go of some beliefs that have kept you stuck. And the other interesting thing is in the major arcana, we go from the Tower to the Star, and the Star represents healing from a Tower moment. So, this reading really looks like to me like you are healing from a Tower moment, or again, you're having maybe a deep personal revelation where you are realizing that there are certain beliefs that have been holding you back for a long time. And I feel like you're healing these things, which is just going to lead to fulfillment and wishes. So I definitely get wish fulfillment here. I definitely get happiness coming in for you as well. So I do feel like a lot of fulfillment and happiness. You have the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is a card of, fulfillment and abundance and joy. So I feel like there is a lot of fulfillment. And even if we go this way here from the Ace of Cups down to the Star is also a card of fulfillment. The Nine of Cups is a card of fulfillment. So that's what I feel here. If you're attracting a person in love, I also have, by the way, to me, tarot is timeless. And even though I put dates on these readings, what I would say is that I'm getting May popping into my head. So some of you might be maybe you're not meeting a person until May. For a lot of you, I actually feel like you're meeting this person now, but with the Chariot, there could be distance. And maybe you don't actually travel to meet this person until the month of May, which is only a couple of months. It's not like it's going to be that long, right? But what I would say is I feel like what you're going to notice is that like things are just easier with this person. Again, I think that every relationship has its ups and downs, but I feel like if you're meeting a new person, it just has like a better flow in my head. Like if I try to put myself in your shoes, it's just like a much nicer energy. I feel like even to the point where it's like this, I feel like this person doesn't like conflict or fights, and maybe you don't like conflict or fighting either. And, so I feel like you don't fight, right? I feel like maybe it's like an adult that you're attracting here where you talk about your problems or whatever. With the Ace of Cups, yes, you have the Knight of Wands. Really talking about fulfillment is what I feel here. Not even just love here, Cancer. The Knight of Wands, outside of love even, he is really looking to move towards his desires. Chariot twice, King of Wands. So whatever you want in life, I would move towards your desires, which I think everyone needs to do with the Knight of Wands, because everybody gets the Knight of Wands nowadays. And really, it's that Pluto and Aquarius. Pluto and Aquarius, to me, it's like there's a certain little element of Pluto and Aquarius that basically says, you need to follow your heart. You need to do the things that you love to do, that bring joy, that bring happiness, and like all that other stuff into your life. And that's what I'd be doing with the Knight of Wands. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Hangman here. So some of you could be attracting a Pisces, but I also feel it's kind of like, I feel like it's time for you to get moving, is with the Hangman. It's like you've learned everything you need to learn. And the Nine of Wands, he's almost looking up this way, the Nine of Wands. And so for some of you, I feel like you see the things that could bring you happiness and fulfillment, but you could also be focusing on the past. And so I would start more focusing on the future. With the Tower, you have the Strength card. You have the Strength card twice. It's kind of funny because, going this direction. I look at the Strength card as a card of personal development. She's, that lion, I'll show you on this card because it's just easier to see. It's like its tail is between its legs. It's submitting to her. And it represents her inner voice, her inner critic, her inner demons, all those things. And I feel like a lot of you are kind of like overcoming some of, those limiting beliefs, like I said at the beginning of the reading. Next, for what you need to hear right now, you have this Thoughts card and this Wealthy Man. So again, it doesn't matter what gender you're attracted to. I literally feel like you're attracting a wealthy person. They might not be like financially like a billionaire or something like that, but I feel like they're a wealthy person in the sense that they are extremely abundant. I feel like they are abundant in life. So again, they might not have like a ton of money, but I feel like this isn't about money. It's about, they have a lot of love to give. They have a lot of attention, affection. They have a lot of like all the good things, right? So I think that's what it's talking about as far as wealthy is concerned. I have a feeling that for a lot of you, you could be attracting where it's like a person where the two of you maybe have like, it's like you work together in the relationship in the future, and that could lead to wealth for sure. And again, for some of you, obviously, it could just be a wealthy person. I feel like either this person's thinking about you or you are thinking about this person. I kind of feel like some of you need to open up here, which is true for everyone. I mean, I think we're all, there's just based off the energy, I think we're all a little bit closed off, but you have the Six of Wands and the Nine of Wands. And so that really tells me, with the Nine of Wands especially, that you might have some boundaries up. Again, for some of you, I'm wondering if you know this person. It's like maybe you work with this person. The other thing that I would say is that you probably, with the King of Wands, Knight of Wands, Nine of Wands, Six of Wands, you might have socialized with this person before. So it could be like part of a friend group or something like that. It's definitely popping into my head here, Cancer. You have the Chariot, the Ten of Swords, the Six of Wands, and the Nine of Wands. So I feel like this is, again, talking about kind of like fortune after difficulty. It is what's popping into my head, like not really a blessing in disguise, but I feel like you're seeing something that's dead done over with. It's like you're seeing the blessing in it. Part of the Ten of Swords is that he needs to see the blessing. He's making the symbol with his hands. It's the same symbol that the Hierophant is making, and it represents a blessing. You actually have 3 cards that definitely represent a blessing. 4 swords. Normally, there's a person in the stained glass window on the 4 swords that is blessing another person. You have the Hierophant, a blessing, and then this card here. So again, you could be seeing the blessing in an ending. And this is you coming up in a strong position here, Cancer. But I feel like you could be like seeing that if you stayed with a past person, you wouldn't meet this new person. It's like that type of blessing. The other thing that could be happening here is that something is just going your way. I know that sounds kind of lame, but you have that Thoughts card, the Chariot. Most times in life, I think we think like, oh, I'm going to start this business and I'm going to make $1 million overnight, and it doesn't happen. Or I'm going to, go get this job, and then it doesn't happen. So it's like we enter into these cycles sometimes where I feel we kind of get disappointed, multiple times. So I feel it's like this reading is saying for once, you are not going to be disappointed. I really feel this part of the reading is like kind of saying for once, things are kind of going to go your way in something that you're working on. So if you're working on a project, I would put in the work, take control with that Chariot card. You have the Nine of Wands here. Again, someone needs to open up if you want love. I feel like there needs to be a more open energy. You could be thinking back to a time where you had to heal, or where you had to, maybe you felt stuck in a relationship. But again, I feel like this person that you're thinking about, if you are thinking about a person, is very different. And they could live at a distance. Yes, are you kidding? With the Ten of Swords and the Chariot, you have the Two of Cups. Perfect match. I feel like you two are very different. You know what's really interesting as well is I feel like that you could be meeting a person where it's like both of you are not each other's usual type. Literally popping into my head. So it's like I feel like there will be plenty of attraction, but I feel like normally it's like this person, whoever it is, maybe normally they wouldn't go for someone like you, and normally you wouldn't go for someone like them, right? And this is not a bad thing. This is like a good thing. I think you're going to realize, like, again, there's plenty of attraction here. King of Wands, Knight of Wands. So it's not like this person's, ugly or something like that. I feel like just maybe it's just not your usual type. And, the Two of Cups says soulmate. With the Six of Wands, you have the Eight of Pentacles. I feel like you're putting in the work. I like when I get stuff like this right here, Six of Wands with the Eight of Pentacles, because to me, it really suggests that maybe you're not having these like huge, gigantic, big wins, right? But it's like you're having the types of wins in life that really motivate you to keep going. Personally, I rather have a bunch of small wins instead of like one big win. It's like, I don't know, I just learned in life, it's a tough lesson, right? But, I've accomplished some big goals, not to brag. And it's like, it's always like, okay, like now what? You know what I mean? But it's like when I have those small wins, then I keep staying motivated. It keeps me moving forward. And, that's kind of what this looks like to me with the Six of Wands. It's like they're just like nice little things that are keeping you kind of progressing. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is work hard, play hard. I would also say this person might have strong boundaries up if you're meeting a new person, but not in a bad way. I feel like, it just kind of strikes me here that you could be meeting a person who went through something. So it's like now I think if they're like working during the day, maybe they learned that if they were always available to a past person, that person would leave. So it kind of just seems like this person, it's like, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, Cancer. It's almost like it's like, I feel like they want to give you time, but it's like, and I don't think they're ignoring you during the day. I think they've just learned, like, when I'm at work, I'm going to focus on work, and that's it. When I'm home, I'll text this person. So they might kind of have those types of boundaries up, right? Finally, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Breathe card, and it doesn't matter what shows up here. It's going to be positive no matter what. You have this Old Woman card. It says sadness, female on it. So you could just have been feeling sad, and I actually feel you're clearly healing from that because you have the Strength card, Knight of Swords, and the Star. The Star can literally be a card of healing from sadness. So I feel for a lot of you that there are good things coming in for you. You can see this bird here is an ibis. The ibis in the tarot kind of represents, sorry, Cancer, I have to fix something here. The ibis kind of represents seeing the big picture or seeing everything that's going on in a situation. So that bird kind of sees everything that's going on. And I really feel that's like your life. It's like you're seeing, maybe this week you're understanding like why you had to go through certain things or why you had to have certain experiences. And now I feel like you're, because of that, it's like you're changing or you are creating changes. You have the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords says don't rush into anything. Although, again, I feel like something like communication is rushing in for you, or a person could be rushing in for you. And it is coming up in the good stuff. So, I do feel it'll be plenty positive and like there will be good things here. I also think that part of the best part of this reading is the Strength card. It's like you're working on yourself. I feel like you're working on the things that you need to work on to kind of create more abundance, success, happiness, joy, like all that sort of stuff with the Strength card. With the Strength card, you have the King of Pentacles. Yes, if you want love, I feel there is a permanent connection coming in for you with the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles really permanent, someone who really wants to work on something. I also see a change in your money, and we see that going this way. It's like the Tower could be some sort of surprise that you've had in your finances, and then the Tower can say that you have, maybe you went through some sort of surprise, like I said, but it's like I feel like you've learned from these surprises that you've been through. And sorry, Cancer, sorry, I have to wait for someone to show up, and I don't, and my thing keeps going off here. But anyway, what I would say is that it's like you maybe had some financial surprises. Maybe you lost your job for some of you. It's not going to be true for all of you, but it's like you understand what you had to change right here, and now you're creating small wins in your finances. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Death card. I really feel this is talking about a change, but I also feel it's talking about a person who's coming in who's very different. Like I said, could be a Scorpio as well. You have water just in general here. Could be any water sign. On top of that, I feel they're just like happy changes coming in for you. The Death card, normally the 2 pillars from the moon are on the back of the Death card. And the 2 pillars on the back of the moon kind of represent, from the moon on the Death card, the sun is coming up. So kind of represents a new day dawning, or the sun coming up in general. With the star, you have the King of Cups. Yes, could be a water sign for sure. And I feel if you want love, this could be your person. Very loving, very caring, just a good person. If you don't want love, I feel that both of these cards, by the way, normally the King of Cups is sitting in the middle of the ocean, and it kind of represents great depth. She needs to get into this pool right here. This pool represents a pool of universal consciousness. So, both cards to me, even if you do want love, it says if you are thinking about doing something new in life, that you can't just scratch the surface. You have to, dive all the way in. You have to dive deep to really, explore the ins and outs of something. We're going to pull 5 main themes now. You start off with this frying pan card. It says trouble, accusations. Again, we're at the end of Mars and Gemini. Mars will be out of Gemini. And even though it's out of Gemini, really it takes a planet a little bit of time before it kind of like moves on from the energy. So, no gossip, no getting involved in gossip or any of that stuff. Next, you have this July card. And sorry, I dropped the other card. And let's see if I can get it. You have this pineapple that says reconciliation. I don't think this is like a reconciliation as in a person coming back. I feel like this is you kind of reconciling things with yourself. So lessons that you've learned, experiences that you've had, things like that. You have this key card. It says successful outcome to your problem. So if you have any problems, I feel there could be a successful outcome. You have this cobweb card. It says protected from negative forces beyond your control. So if you've had any challenges or difficulties, again, Mars leaving Gemini, kind of weird energy where there could be people talking behind your back, or you could be dealing with any of that stuff, I would just ignore it. I think that's like the best thing you can do with Mars and Gemini is just ignore it, plain and simple. And then finally, you have this 4-leaf clover. It says great, good fortune on it. So clearly there could be a lot of luck and abundance coming in for you. There's clearly a change in your money going on here. It is due to work. And again, I think that 8 of Pentacles and 6 of Wands is saying you have to follow those little successes. That's, following the success is going to create more of it, but they're just going to be small wins. So I really feel with the Chariot twice as well, whenever I get these like heavy Chariot readings, I'm always like, keep the momentum going. It's like sometimes I think we have successes and then we stop. I feel like the saying, don't stop, keep having those wins. But I see a lot of success here, Cancer. Love it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.